Yo everyone, what's going on? Couriway here, and in this video we are going to speedrun the best seed and the worst seed of our 1000 speedruns no reset challenge as fast as possible. Before we get into it though, just a friendly reminder that if you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and also be sure to watch the whole 1000 speedruns movie if you haven't already. It's a great video that I put a ton of time into, and I definitely recommend checking it out. For finding the best seed, there were only two obvious candidates for me: runs 327 and 793, which finished with times of 16:19 and 15:53 respectively. Run 794 was our best time of the challenge, and a really great seed with an awesome nether. However, the stronghold distance from our exit portal was very bad, and to really have the seed be great, you need to get very lucky with piglin trades in the triple chest section of a stables bastion. For run 327, it's one of the best nethers I've ever gotten as a speedrunner. The bridge bastion is ridiculous and makes for a really cool looking seed. The overworld is preferable to run 794s for something like this as well, and I actually also enter the end faster on this seed during the challenge, but had an unlucky dragon perch that made the run slower. So because of that, I think I'll be going with run 327 as the best seed of the challenge. And before even scouting the seed at all, I truly believe that I can get a sub 10 speedrun on it, but we'll leave that for later in the video to save the best for last. We'll be running the worst seed first, and honestly, this was really hard to figure out because there's a lot of different ways to calculate what is actually the worst seed. I could go with the worst time of the challenge, or I could go with the worst time with no deaths, or any other number of different metrics to define what I think is the worst seed, which is really challenging when there's literally 1,000 of them to go through. The main competitors for this were runs 109, 143, 397, 416, and 821. By the way, if you ever want to see what happened to make these runs so bad, you can check out the VOD channel, which has every single run from the 1000 runs in their entirety linked in the description below. But for this, I think I'll actually be going with run 143 seed. This run was the farthest we had to run out for a nether fortress, going over 2,000 blocks in the nether just to find one. So, am I in the ring? So the goal in rerunning the seed is to find a much closer fortress to go to and hope that the seed can be better from there. With that being said, since this video will have 2 set seed speedruns, I'm going to skip the routing process on these seeds and just jump right into running them. So let's see first how fast I can speedrun a Minecraft world where I originally had to go out 2,000 blocks in the nether. Alright, so this is what I believe to be the worst seed we rolled in the 1000 speedruns redone. At least for me at the time, because let me tell you, having to go out 2,000 blocks for a fortress was not an enjoyable experience whatsoever, and was truly a 1 in 1000 type moment. So I do feel like this seed does fit for the exercise that we're trying to do here for this video. Starting off here, you can see I have a cave, which is really nice, and then I do this nice movement with this crafting table to allow me to fall down and not take as many hearts falling down, so I'm able to save hunger later, and then I'm still able to reach the crafting table to make a stone pickaxe and a furnace and all the stuff that I'm going to need for this cave. This overworld was actually extremely hard to reset for, just because I didn't want it to look super slow, because it is an overworld where there's not much action happening besides, you know, you're just caving for iron, you're just mining stone for stone tools. Like, there's not a lot happening here, right? So it's hard to manage it to make it actually interesting, and trying to also have it actually be fast, you know? Like, I want there to be basically zero downtime, which is kind of what I'm trying to do here, from picking when I'm mining certain things to when I'm smelting in the furnace, grabbing the furnace, moving it back up, which I'm doing now. There's a lot that goes into it. So I'm actually going to build up here, break the crafting table. Well, actually, I need to craft my stuff first, which I forgot about at the time. Craft my stone axe and my shovel. That way I can place my furnace higher up now, similar to the same thing as the crafting table, where it's just kind of in between the cave and the high ground. That way, when I'm done grabbing gravel and wood here for a flint and steel and just a boat and beds later on with the wood, I'll be able to just grab the iron from the furnace and not have to worry about going back down to the cave to get it. So really just trying to focus on task overlapping as many things as possible right now. So while the iron is smelting, I'm able to get some food here because I see a pig. I actually lose this pig. I don't know where it goes, but I've ended up finding it again, which is nice. And then I do see another one out of the corner of my eye, which works out really well. Now, if you are new here and you're not familiar with how these videos work, this is a set seed speedrun. And if you are kind of unfamiliar with how that does work, it means I've looked at pretty much every avenue of the seed to speedrun it as fast as possible. So I've seen people comment on videos like this before, like, hey, Couriway, why are you cheating? This isn't like meant to do anything like that. It's pretty... I try to make it very clear that, like, yes, I am scouting the seed. That's what makes it entertaining, because who would want to watch me speedrun the worst seed that I've rolled in the 1K runs again, right? So I know everything that's happening. I'm just trying to play it as fast as possible. So now we're going to be mining down, and with that being said, we're mining down directly on a lava pool here, which actually kind of worked out semi-conveniently. This overworld isn't the worst thing ever, considering what we needed. I was able to get food. I was able to get all the iron that I needed. I have a lava pool that's not at Y11. So for a Mega Taiga spawn, just kind of in the middle of nowhere on what I thought is the worst seed I've rolled and played in the 1000, it's pretty good. You know, I can't complain that much. This is going to be like a sub 330 enter here. Then I'm able to build our portal, nice and fancy, grab my lava, and light this thing up. So we're going to be heading to the nether now. This nether is okay. Honestly, I actually don't remember the nether being this decent. I didn't look at the nether until I started scouting the seed after I had already decided to do this seed. But I was actually surprised with how close the bridge bastion was, which is what we're going to here. And it actually works out really nicely because I'm able to get there pretty fast, you know, do a little bit of terrain navigation, try to utilize my gravel blocks correctly, except for the one that I didn't use correctly, which you saw fall. But that allows me to just have a cleaner inventory, and I'm also able to grab mushrooms along the way, which is really nice. Then I'm just going to build up here on top of the netherrack, and that's going to allow me to get more mushrooms and also have a really clean way to get into this bastion, which you'll see in a second. But it's pretty ironic looking back now, thinking like, this seed up until this point is not awful, right? Like, it's not that bad. Even without knowing where the lava pool is, like, I would still be at this bastion in under 10 minutes, which is pretty average pace for the 1000 seeds, I feel like, on a decent seed. So just knowing that from basically this moment, everything went entirely downhill is pretty funny, to say the least, because it didn't work out. Or at least it's funny in hindsight, because let me tell you, in the moment of speedrunning 1000 seeds and having to go 2000 blocks out, it was not enjoyable. I will definitely tell you that. It was not enjoyable. But we're able to craft a helmet here, craft a gold pickaxe, which I honestly didn't even really need. And then we're just going to organize our inventory here to do a bastion route that is known as the Dowski route, named after Dowski, the Mario speedrunner, again now, after his break from Mario originally to play Minecraft, and now he's back playing Mario on a break from Minecraft. So it's funny how those things work out. But this route is really good. It's basically, you come here, triple chest, bam, mine that, place a block, mine in here, mine the gold block, and then all the pigs will fall down. Unfortunately, I actually didn't get that many pigs because I think some of them were scared away from zombie piglins, the reason I think that is because some of them come very, very late as well. I also just threw my gold poorly here, but you can hear one coming very late, and then another one also drops down here in just a second, which very much caught me off guard, but thankfully it just ended up going in the hole with the gold, so that worked out. I also had a baby piglin in there, which doesn't trade the gold ingots for anyone that is not aware, so I will have to deal with that. But there's a very easy way to deal with that, which is basically just placing gravel on top of the piglin's head. And as you can hear, it is suffocating the baby pig. So he will not be stealing any of my gold. And now all I need to do is wait for pearl trades, right? Like, I have a decent amount of string already. Actually, I don't have all my explosives, but I only need really one more string trade. I only need 10 obsidian since I know where I'm going to be blinding into the stronghold and making my second portal. So I don't have to worry about that. We only need, I think I have 10. I can't tell from how I'm watching this if I have 10 or if that's grind obsidian. It is. I only have 8 obsidian, and then I have 7 pearls. I get my first pearl trade. So with that first pearl trade, I'll be able to go this way and leave the bastion and do something called a pearl hang, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. But if you aren't, I'm basically leaving a pearl in the middle of an unloaded chunk. That's why I turn my render down, and that'll allow me to come back and wait for the piglin trades. And then instantly, as soon as the trades are done, I'll be able to leave and hop on out and be right where I want to be, which is where I threw the pearl. So literally all I'm waiting on right now is another pearl trade. I know I don't need that many. I just need like at least one more. And I actually get it. So I don't know if 19 is going to be enough because the fortress is far away. Remember, originally this fortress was 2,000 blocks for me because I was going different directions because of treasure bastions and just other things that I was unaware of while speedrunning. So the fortress itself, the real closest fortress, is actually still pretty far. So I didn't know if this was going to be enough pearls, but thankfully it ended up being enough. So here we are. I whiff a pearl, so I try to get up there. I actually nail this throw. If I missed that throw, I probably would have just ended the attempt because this would have just been bad. So now I'm trying to think. The reason I'm thinking here is because I'm going to do something that is very, very challenging. And you just saw a first pearl hang, but I'm going to try and do a second pearl hang here, which is going to be really annoying. And I actually messed it up because I didn't really know where I was going, and I should have pearled forward first, so that pearl landed, and then I could have turned my render distance down afterwards, but it ends up still working out because of how many pearls I actually had. So I'm able to pearl around on a low render distance here to get away from the pearl that I hung to go originally, or not originally, but to go back to once I get my blaze rods, which is a bit confusing, but you'll get the gist of it once we actually finish up at the blaze spawner here. So we're going to the fortress. I know where I have to go. This terrain was not very nice, as you can tell by, you know, just this, but I had some visual cues that I kind of knew. Like, I kind of knew this general shape right here, and I knew that I was close. And then I also had that strand of lava that also allowed me to know, like, okay, you're right here. And look at how convenient that is. The fortress is literally poking out of this. This is like the only part of the fortress that is actually exposed at all anywhere. So I was very, very happy I was actually able to find it. And this is probably why I couldn't find the fortress in the original 1000 speedruns attempt, because it is like a 30 chunk fortress in a wall with no fortress exposed at all. So I was probably just led to a treasure bastion, which led me to another treasure bastion, and because of that happening, I was just very, very far at the end of the run. But everything else here is pretty standard. We're doing something called a blaze bed, which again, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. But if you are new from the 1000 speedruns video, or just, you know, new to speedrunning in general, this is something that's very, very common in top level runs, or not even top level runs, honestly, at this point. It's kind of just a very common speedrunning strat. It's a very safe way to open up more spawning space with blazes if you do it correctly, and it's very quick and easy to do. So I already have 2 rods. I only need 5, which is actually really nice because the portal that we're going to is actually a 2-eye, which is great because then I don't need to get 6 rods, which is just a bigger waste of time and just annoying in general. So while I'm waiting here, I'm basically just crafting everything I could think I could ever need in this speedrun, like a bow, my beds, kind of everything. I already knew that this seed was not zero cyclable. For anyone that would want me to do a zero cycle on this seed, I knew that it was not zero cyclable since it was scouted. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that. But I have everything else that I need. I have my gold pick, and I only have 3 rods. So I'm kind of just waiting here. I'm like, okay, these rates have been pretty bad. Can we do something about that? Because I would like to actually leave the spawner, you know, and continue on with the run and show you the really cool pearl hang that we're doing. But alas, the blazes were not having it. So here we go. 2 spawn. Can I get the 2 drops that I need to leave? I'm like, please drop, please drop, please drop. And it doesn't drop because the game hates me. So I'm like, okay, what are my options here? I can wait here. I can also leave and try and find another way to get like 1 more stray blaze. But I didn't scout a second spawner actually, which was pretty bad in hindsight. I probably should have done that, but it gave me a time to do a little cameo in the middle of the run and do this, which is very nice. So now I'm just shifting, I'm waiting, I get my blazes, no drop on that one, but I get a 4 spawn, so I'm figuring that 1 will drop, and it does. So all I gotta do is crank my render distance all the way up, and boom, look at that, we're all the way back here just because of our pearl hang. I throw a great pearl here, which allows me to get to basically exactly where I need to go, and I'm able to figure that out. This ghast is shooting me though, which was not very welcome, but I was able to figure out still where I need to put my portal, place all the obsidian, and we are good to go. This portal actually doesn't put me where I thought it would put me, which is very annoying. And I hear the silverfish, I'm like, okay, where am I? Because when I scouted the seed before, this was the first time that I had been in the end, or in the stronghold, and it took me to a completely different area. So I was very, very confused, but I ended up figuring it out. All I had to do was go through here, and boom, there is the portal room. And as you can see, it's a 2-eye, so all I need to do is bam, bam, put all the eyes in, and look at that. Incredible. Perfect. So now all we need to do is kill the dragon. And unfortunately, like I said, the seed is not zero cyclable because I spawn in a cage, which is very annoying. But considering this was one of, if not, in my opinion, the worst seed we had, the fact that we're entering the end even scouted at like under 12 minutes is very happy. My goal for this was like sub 15. I realistically didn't even know if that was going to be possible, honestly, but I really underestimated like how the terrain nav would go, or I guess overestimated. I thought it would be a lot harder, but it really wasn't that bad. I'm able to kill an enderman here to get one more pearl for throwing it to the middle when it perches. And I think about like bowing crystals or anything, but I kind of just decided I will wait on the perch here, wait it out, eat some stew, go back as far as I possibly can. And the dragon is about to go perch. So I will let me in the moment finish it out. And then afterwards, I will see you in the next run for the fastest run. So don't go anywhere. Enjoy the first one cycle. That was such a laggy dragon, I literally don't care. Sub 13, holy cow. That is actually sick. With not amazing blaze rates. 1253 on that with not amazing blaze rates by any means. What were they? 5 for 12 below average. Holy cow. We played that really well. I think I had a really good route, honestly. The route just seemed to work really well, and that was just, honestly, more fun than I thought it was going to be. The Bastion was a little bit slow. The Fortress was definitely not amazing race-wise, and I blinded in a very different part of the Stronghold, even though I was standing in the same spot. So that threw me off, but we figured it out, and we got a sub 13 on arguably the worst seed that we rolled during the 1000, which is insane. With that being said, though, I think it's time we switch it up and see what the best seed of the 1000 looks like as a set seed speedrun. So it's time to switch over to that. All right, and we're back here with the second run, the actual fastest seed most likely that I rolled in the 1000 speedruns challenge for something like this. I hope the wait was worth it, and sifting through the awfulness of the worst seed ever to get to this moment, because this seed I truly believe was the best seed that I rolled after really looking through all of them and thinking about the best seeds that we've gotten throughout this challenge. I think on a pure seed aspect, this was the coolest and best seed. And let me tell you, the scouting for this seed was really interesting, which you'll see in a second, especially in the overworld. So first things first, we're just gonna act like this is a normal ocean spawn, grab some wood, craft some doors, craft a boat, all that good stuff. So that's going to be the goal here. Boom, boom, craft all my good stuff. And then I actually break my crafting table first because I found this was a little bit of a time save to grab the wood that I needed after, or the extra wood that I needed, like for beds and stuff, after crafting the other stuff. And that just allows me to get in the ocean sooner. I guess technically this isn't the ocean, it's the river, but the ocean is to the left of me. And this is just the faster way to go because I'm always in a boat, and boats are obviously faster than running or walking or whatever. So we're going to be going to a buried treasure here that I have scouted out. And I actually went to this buried treasure originally, but this is where the similarities differ very drastically. So you'll notice that I don't have enough iron here to do an iron pickaxe, a flint and steel, and a bucket. But what I do have enough for is iron pickaxe, iron axe, and a gold shovel. And you're probably wondering where I'm going to get a bucket and another piece of iron. But let me tell you, you're about to find out. This is probably the coolest overworld I've done in a set seed before. So we're going to mine in here, which obviously I did not do in the original run. I found a magma ravine, and I had more iron from a shipwreck. But now we're going to mine down here. Spider spawner, 3 iron, bucket. Oh my god, how insane is that? We're going to grab water, which I grabbed first try, which is actually... I actually can't explain how hard that is to do, falling down if you've never done it before. And then I'm just in a lava pool, just like that, easy peasy. I broke a piece of stone that I wasn't supposed to break, which like broke my brain for a second. But I'm able to do everything else that I need to do. Lava, all I need is gravel. And I actually ripped flint in the first attempt, which is great. So down here, boom, 2:15 enter on a very weird overworld. And then, if you have never seen this nether before, oh my goodness, look at this. Well, I remember this is exactly how I came up to it when I was speedrunning originally this seed. And it's quite the sight, especially after just spawning in a basalt ravine and thinking like, oh, this seed's going to be one that just sucks. Seeing this over the horizon is just ludicrous. So I absolutely love this. This is really cool. This is another bridge bastion though, which I find pretty funny. Both in my opinion, the best and the worst seeds both were bridge bastions, which is just great. So we're gonna be doing this, grabbing this gold, and then you can notice as well, if you are a keen speedrunning fan, you'll notice that this is a double triple bridge, which means that I can route this bastion in a lot of different ways, and I'm actually going to be routing it differently than the last bridge bastion, even though a lot of times normally I would go for the Dowski route in a normal bridge bastion like this. But since it is not a normal bridge bastion, there's a fortress literally right next to it, I was really worried about wither skeletons hitting me. So I'm going to go to the left rampart here, because in the original run that I did, I actually had a really big issue with wither skeletons messing with my piglins. So we're going to come down here. We're going to do this route, which is very, very good. You can see how many pigs I'm getting here. Absolutely insane. I had a couple of attempts too, which just like, I even had more pigs than that. Like sometimes I would get more because like they just weren't fighting with withers, which was insane. So I was really, really happy about this. We get a bunch of stuff here, really cool. And because the fortress is so close, and this seed is also a 2-eye, I only need like 2 pearl trades, and I'm like done. So I get down here, I unfortunately get 9. I would have left on like 10 or 11, honestly, but I have 16. I have all my string, I have a fire res. All I need is an obsidian trade to get 10. Bam, and I'm out. This was like a 130 bastion. Literally insane. Unfortunately, in the real run, it was not that fast because I obviously couldn't reset and wasn't resetting for it. And I also play this a lot riskier as well. I go to 5 render here. If this is the attempt that I'm thinking of, this is about to be insane, but I don't think it is. No. I had an attempt where, like, it was like 25 wither skeletons that I had to kill, and I still got to the end. It was almost an attempt, but the dragon just didn't perch. So first blaze drops, but it's in the worst spot ever, so I have to climb up here, which is really annoying. And then I got shot from somewhere else, but I wasn't sure where it was, so I just kind of left, and I'm going to the blaze spawner, which, again, I went to this blaze spawner in the actual run. This is kind of similar up until this point of what I actually did. The only big difference so far is the bastion route itself. I did a different bastion route, and I had a lot less pigs, so I also did something called task overlapping. So when I got a first fire res and a first pearl trade, I actually left the piglins still trading and did the fortress while the piglins were still trading, did the blazes, and then came back for my trade. So it was kind of like a monument run in a way in the actual run. It was really cool. But in this case, I don't have to do that because I get an insane amount more pigs. And then we're going to be going a completely different place for the blind travel into the stronghold, because in the actual run, I blind traveled 1,800 blocks away from the stronghold. And I was also underground at Y11 under a mountain. So needless to say, it was not an enjoyable experience. I get my 5th rod, which is, again, all I need. So I'm just going to turn on my render here so I can see where I'm going. Unfortunately, there's a wither directly where I need to go, which is just absolutely lovely. So I have to murder him, which is fine. And then we are leaving, pretty much. We're going a completely different way. Again, I had to go back to my bastion in the original one, so I blind traveled closer to the bastion. And then this dude here, I missed my jump, and I tried to just land in the boat, and I just took a bunch of damage. And at this point, I'm thinking I might actually not be able to finish the run in a really fast way. But thankfully, I actually regen just enough hearts to be able to do stuff, which you'll see in a second here. But the not fun thing that I have to do on this seed, which was very common in the 1000 speedruns, is digging through a wall, which is kind of annoying. Thankfully, I don't have to dig too far down a wall because, again, I scouted this. I kind of know exactly where I need to be going here. So we're going to be digging down here. This is going to put me actually directly into the portal room. Last time, I wasn't really lucky enough to get that. Sometimes seeds are just able to do it. Sometimes you're just not able to do it based on like the terrain and weird stuff like that. But in this seed, you're able to get the exact perfect blind travel into the portal room. I guess it's not a blind travel. It's more of a nether portal out of the nether into the portal room. Look at that, right up the staircase. I'm making sure I do not get hit by a silverfish there because I have 5.5 hearts. And what that 5.5 hearts means is that I can pearl to the island here. I'm not able to zero cycle, unfortunately, because of my health, which is a bit annoying, but what are you going to do? So I'm in the end with 3 hearts, which is enough for me to 5-bed and still live with a half a heart. So even if I mess up a 4-bed, I should be fine here, which is good. And all I have to do now is craft my beds. I have 5. I don't know why I crafted an anchor here because I literally couldn't use it if I wanted to because of my health. But I do it anyway. And then all that is left is the dragon. And unfortunately, this was a slow dragon because why would it not be? So I'm just going to speed it up here. It was still a decent dragon, I guess. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it would have been really cool if it like sub-8'd. It actually had a chance to sub-8, I think. I wasn't paying super close attention to the end enter time. I think it was like a 7:0x, so I think I had a chance. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it was really cool. If you do enjoy it, let me know with a like and a comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. I do plan on probably doing one more video with the 1000 speedruns, like other best moments or like stuff that didn't make the video or something like that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you enjoy the one cycle, and I will see you next time. Peace out, everyone. I'll take it. That was a really slow dragon. I'm kind of annoyed. But what a run otherwise. I knew I could sub 10 this. Should have been... Realistically could have sub 8'd with that end enter. But that seed is just nasty, man. That seed is just nasty. That Bastion route is insane. Having to leave on only like 2 pearls is sick. This routing in the overworld is awesome. This is some of the coolest overworld routing I've ever done. It just stinks that I wasn't recording it because I knew that it would take too long with doing 2 runs in one video. But this was a really, really cool run, and I hope that it was worth it to stick around to the end to see the best seed reran. This was sick. This seed is insane. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said at the beginning, if you did enjoy this, remember to leave a like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. Thank you so much. And if you aren't aware, I've been streaming on Twitch. I've been attempting to do 100 hardcore speedruns in a row, but if I die, I start back at 0. It has been quite the challenge so far. If you're interested in checking that out, go check out my Twitch. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you all next time. Peace out, everyone.